Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope you are having a nice Monday afternoon. Again, a lot of the kiddos back to school now this week. And again, Monday afternoons, we have our regularly scheduled streaming segment with the Better Business Bureau. Again, kind of keeping an eye on things that you need to keep an eye on. And today, no different, another interesting topic. Again, Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau, always bringing in some interesting topics. And today is no different. Josh, again, welcome into the studio today. How was your weekend? Do anything crazy? Didn't get into trouble? I didn't see it pop up on the news anywhere, so that's good.
Yeah, always a good sign when you can avoid the headlines over the weekend. Bill, happy to be here. I stayed out of the rain for a bit. My yard appreciated it, but nothing really new to report over here.
So that's good. That is good, Josh. One thing that is making the headlines, though, is a huge demand for passports. Something that I guess I hadn't really noticed or seen until we had our conversation and you had brought it up. And I just did a cursory search, and CBS had an article, something around over 400,000 new applications, I think, per week or per month or something like that. So a huge demand for passports is leading to some passport scams. Can you kind of fill us in, tell us what you know?
Yeah, Bill, that historic demand for passports has really pushed the renewal process to take months for travelers. A lot of folks don't have months to wait for their passport. Last year, the State Department received a requested 22 million requests for passports, and it's on track to shatter what was a record again this year. And unfortunately, anytime you have long lines, you have scammers waiting in the wings saying that they can provide you with that golden ticket or help you expedite that process. There are a lot of desperate travelers who are looking to speed up that process however possible. And unfortunately, a lot of scammers are really good at promising to make problems go away. So we've seen everything from folks allegedly being able to provide entire documents for folks within a few hours' time to being willing to fill out that information for the consumer on behalf of the consumer. To really removing the line entirely. And that's really the concern, right? Is with these types of scams, you are providing a huge digital composite to the scammer. You're providing them, your birth date, your social security number, your address, your phone, with all of the information you would possibly need to produce identity theft. And so that's the real major concern that folks should be on the lookout for.
Yeah, and identity theft is something that can lead just to a huge rabbit hole of issues. And it is something that, again, if you have this huge long wait, even if you think you've done a good job and you've applied for a renewal early because you're going on a cruise or you have this big family vacation, it's government work. It can be slow sometimes. And if you're running up against the wire of we're leaving the country next week and I don't still have that passport, a lot of people can get desperate. And when you get desperate, that's when sometimes you can do things that you shouldn't.
Without question. I couldn't have said that any better. There is a lot of urgency with these requests. Typically, these consumers are not waiting to take a trip 6 months from now, a year from now. It's, oh no, this is 2 weeks from now. And like you mentioned cruises, if you want to get off that boat, you need to have that passport if you are looking to, enjoy the experiences at ports of call. So a lot of urgency creates a lot of, willingness to avoid certain red flags and to, again, fork over information that really needs to be kept under wraps as best you possibly can.
And so, again, to avoid any of these possible pitfalls, again, kind of take us through what people need to know. I'm assuming if you're doing anything online, you need to make sure you're on a .gov website. Would that be kind of probably number one?
Without a doubt, an HTTPS website is going to be the go-to, right? That means that the S stands for secure, and that means encryption has been enabled to prevent a scammer from compromising your account. It's a lot more difficult to have your access or your account access compromised on HTTPS websites. 1011 HTTPS website, BBB 1011 website, Amazon 1011 website. So there are millions of these, but there are also millions more HTTP websites. So you want to double and triple check that URL. We certainly recommend folks to not click on links within text messages or emails, even if they are purporting to be from government agencies. While government agencies do typically link within emails, it has never been easier for folks to create carbon copies of legitimate messages to create legitimate looking marketing collateral to trap victims. So it is always best to type in that URL yourself if you know it, or to go directly to those official websites, those .govs, rather than relying upon links within texts or emails, because unfortunately you just have no way of knowing that you're actually being taken to the site that you think you are.
Yeah, I mean that goes not just for the passport issue, but again, really anything, any topic that we discuss. Again, as always, if they're telling you to send me some cryptocurrency or wire me some money here, huge red flag. Obviously, we don't want to do any of that as well.
Yeah, non-traditional modes of payment are very common for non-traditional situations, right? So if someone is already operating under the assumption that someone else can help them expedite a governmental process or an enormous line, they're willing to, take that extra step, pay that extra amount of money, use that form of payment that they don't have experience with in order to make the situation go away. However, the reason why scammers so often turn to non-traditional modes of payment is because they're irrevocable. So once that payment is sent with a gift card or a wire transfer, cryptocurrency, even if it's found to be in the process of a scam, it is so unlikely for that money to ever get back to your pocket. Those are just major red flags anytime those non-traditional modes of payment are, requested. If at all possible, as we so often talk about, using a credit card, those are secure, those are traceable transactions. And that's precisely not what a scammer wants you to use, which is why it's so important that you use them, because you actually stand a chance to get that money back, assuming that something comes up and you're taking part in a scam rather than a realistic form or the actual process of applying for a passport.
And Josh, this may be a little bit out of your wheelhouse, but do you know what's driving this demand for the huge for passports? I mean, what I know we're just kind of coming out of COVID and all the rest of it, but again, 430,000 applications per week, according to the State Department, seems like a lot.
Yeah, there is an enormous log jam. There are some supply chain issues. There are some issues with staffing. There are some issues with technology. There's, of course, millions and millions of folks who are looking to travel after being told that essentially they couldn't for a very long period of time. So it really is a perfect storm of variables that have led to enormous log jams. Right? These are not simple processes as simple as it might seem to us to rubber stamp things. Typically, there are a number of steps that need to be that need to go through, in order to get this information approved. So it is slightly more complicated. Add in the volume and add in all of these, external factors, and you get an enormous wait time. So there are folks who are, willing to have folks, fill out their passport form for them because they think that is going to somehow, simplify the process or expedite the process. And it's just that's unfortunately a situation that breeds scams when there's confusion, when there's gray area, when there's folks looking to cut a line in half, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, and so maybe not a bad idea. Again, even if you're thinking about booking a trip anytime in the near future, send in that application now. If you don't already have your passport, again, if you're an adult, these passports last for 10 years. So, get it done now. I think it's, if you have a child under 18, I think they're good for 5 years. Because we're already talking about, my oldest is 7, my youngest is 6. My wife and I are already talking about maybe we should get them their passports now, just in case in the next couple years we do decide to take a trip.
Yeah, always best to start with as wide of a runway as you possibly can, as long of a runway as you possibly can, to ensure that you don't come into a situation where uh, you know hiring somebody with the 72 hours notice is somehow the most realistic option or the most viable option that you have. You want to make sure that you're getting this done well in advance. It's very difficult to take your own photo for a passport, as anyone who has gotten their passport renewed can attest. So I would encourage you to go through the traditional process of even just getting the photo taken. That can create a logjam and again send you back to the front of the line. So doing everything by the book, going to the State Department website. Yes, it is a frustrating experience that is taking a very long time to unravel, but identity theft takes a lot longer to address. So um,
Yeah.
don't pay to fill out information. This information is free. Unfortunately, the runway is just a lot longer than we would hope.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, a stolen identity can haunt you for a long, long, long time. I'm on the State Department's website right now. So again, if perhaps you're dealing with this issue, it's travel.state.gov, and you can get all the information right now. And again, right now it says their processing times routine is 10 to 13 weeks. Even expedited, if you think like I'm going to get this expedited, it's still 7 to 9 weeks. So that means, it's the middle of August. If your trip is the end of October or, sometime in November, you need to do it now or else you're going to run out of time.
Yep. Yep. It used to be the case that you could start a season early, right, and have it with plenty of time before the actual trip. Now you're talking about a half year, a full year in advance. So if 2024 is more your speed, or 2025, start that process as soon as possible, because I think there are a lot of folks last year who thought, wow, this line couldn't be any longer. And now they're experiencing what they're experiencing today. So you want to make sure you have a spot in line, you have that process started, such that folks can process your form as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and unfortunately, again, the article I pulled up here on CBS, which was just from less than a month ago, July 28th, talks about a couple who were supposed to go on a European cruise with 81 family members and friends, and they didn't get their passports until a couple days after the boat left. So we don't want anyone to be in that same situation. So again, make sure you get that done early, and again, avoid all those pitfalls that we talked about. Is there anything else, Josh, you want to make sure you get thrown out there before we let you go for today?
Just do your research. If there's an opportunity that sounds too good to be true, a company you haven't heard of, whether you see it on social media or other avenues or areas of the internet, do a little bit of research on them before you point blank believe them. Right? A lot of companies originate overnight. They operate in the shadows for a reason. So the best thing you can do to bring them to light is to look and see that there's a digital trail, or that they have a proven track record that's deserving of your business. It is very easy to believe that just providing your information is not going to come back to haunt you. But a lot of consumers can attest that is not the case. That all it takes is one email or one form fill or one piece of information that you provide to a scammer in order to create a nightmare scenario. So do a little bit of research, and you'll feel a lot safer.
And again, as always, if you see something, say something. Let you guys at the Better Business Bureau know what's going on. If you do have a bad experience, and you guys will take care of kind of reporting that situation to the authorities if need be. So again, Josh, this is our 9th time we've done this. This is the first time we actually started a little bit early. We're doing a little bit better every week. Thanks so much for jumping on again today.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. So that was Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. As always, we thank Josh for coming in and jumping on and talking to us on the 1011 Now streaming studio. Again, as always, this is a segment we do every Monday. Again, we'll be back again next week with another topic, another timely topic to keep an eye on. Until then, again, as always, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching today.